Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Curve on both the USD and the Bitcoin pairs, going over some very important levels of support and resistance to keep an eye out for. So if you're new to the channel and you want to show some support, please do leave a like and subscribe. So Curve, I'm noticing, similar to the other DeFi tokens I've been talking about, both Uniswap and Aave, has shown some relative strength here in the short term, outperforming many of the altcoins, including Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I have this band of moving averages here. The red one is the 20-day simple moving average, and the green one is the 21-day exponential moving average. Together they form this band, and the important thing I want you to take away from this is that we have flipped it into support. So we've basically been holding this as resistance for a very long period of time. We can see this key rejection here in May, and we can also see another rejection here in June, another one here in later on in June, and then we came back above it and flipped it into support. So that is a very good sign. We do want to see this continue to hold as support in the event that we're starting to crack back down and retest this once again. So it's obviously a great sign that we flipped this. Again, this is the first time that we're actually starting to hold it as support and be above it in the last 67 days or so. So obviously a very long time to go without being above these moving averages. And the problem was that these were declining and holding resistance. So the resistance just kept getting lower and lower, and that just had a lot of stress being put on the current lows. So we are above it, so that is a very positive sign. If I zoom out here, we have this resistance area to watch out for between $1.20 and $1.26. Now, this was the triple bottom we had back in the summer of 2021. Ultimately, this level held on 3 occasions here in the summer of 2021 as support, and that was the turnaround point in which we went back up to form a new all-time high. So this is a very key and strong resistance area to watch out for going into the next few days here. If we're going to start to reclaim this, that is going to be a very bullish sign for me. So in the event that we're starting to move back above this, reclaim it, hold it as support, similar to, just an illustration, something like this, to me, that's going to be very, very bullish. And in that scenario, I would start to target this next level at around $1.90. That's the next logical resistance area. This was kind of the double bottom back in March, and then this was the level we had just before this May capitulation. So if we're starting to reclaim the zone, again, positive, very, very good for the chart. It's going to look a lot stronger, and it's going to me, look like we're going to target this next area at around $1.90. But if we're starting to reject off this level, which is a very real possibility that we do, if we do reject off this level, I would look towards this band of moving averages to come back down, hold as support, and then maybe from there, can we bounce off of them once again, holding strong support, and then continue for another retest. So those are the things I'm looking out for in the short term. Now I want to switch over to Curve Bitcoin, and this is the ratio that's going to be valuing Curve against Bitcoin, and basically tell us which asset is outperforming which asset. So when this chart is moving up, that means Curve has some relative strength against Bitcoin. And as you can see, it has been performing pretty well since the low here. It's up around 113%, so very good to see that we're bouncing off this level here. I'm personally looking at this resistance level that's around 0.0007. So if we're starting to make our way back up to this level, consider it to be strong resistance. And actually, if we're starting to reclaim this, that to me is going to be a very bullish sign. I think it's going to bring a lot of strength into the USD pair and start helping us reclaim some of those higher valuations. But basically, if we go all the way back, we can see some pretty clear rejections in the prior months. We can see in April 2021, we had this clear rejection, another rejection here in June, another one here again in September. Basically, we flipped it into support in December of 2021 as well as January. So we had this very key level defined as support and resistance, and then we had one final rejection here in May. So very back and forth between support and resistance. So my expectation is if we're starting to come back up, it's going to be a very key retest. Are we going to reject and start to form a pretty significant rejection off that, or can we reclaim it, hold it as support? So this isn't necessarily with respect to the USD pair. I think if this is going to be reclaiming this level, that brings a lot of strength to the USD pair, and that's a good sign. However, the Curve USD pair can still go up if we're starting to reject off this level. It would just mean that Bitcoin's going up at a faster pace, which is not a huge problem. But I do expect that if we're starting to reject, it's going to be it's a little bit more difficult for the USD pair to reclaim some of those higher valuations. So do keep this pair in mind when looking at the USD pair. And I think that if we're starting to reclaim this, which again, it's a very real possibility we do. We have some relative strength in the short term, a very strong momentum trend right here. So if we're starting to come up and maybe we reclaim it in a few weeks, if we're starting to do something like this and consolidate above it, that is going to be a very, very bullish sign, because the next logical area again is around 0.00015, and that was the high here back in January of 2022. And I think if that level is reclaimed, then it's going to look very, very bullish. But we're going to have to wait and see, play it level by level, and just kind of see what price action does when it gets up to this level, if it does end up making it to that. So that's the end of the video. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you have any comments, suggestions, or feedback, please do leave those below. And as always, I will see you in the next one.